Hi, Princess Leona. Hi, sweetheart. How's my wife? I love you. So, this is where I left off yesterday, Leona, at this tower boat. I was rudely interrupted by the lady who wanted to know about the bears. I was talking about these towers here for communication that are used for cell phones, any 5G phone, but are also used. These are installed so they can talk to and direct and pass communications, even police communications, because the police will be augmented with AI bots at first, and eventually there'll be no police and they'll all be AI bots. But these towers allow them to communicate outside of swarm mode. So if a person was like fighting a revolution against them, they would take out the towers and then take out each bot one by one from communicating, because without these towers they can only communicate within so many meters of each other. And in swarm mode, but they cannot outside of swarm mode. If they're too far away, they can't pass communication within so many 100 yards. So these towers actually allow them to operate outside of swarm mode, but swarm mode happens when the towers are down. And the military grade ones can swing swords and shoot guns and throw and use explosives. They're like ninjas. They're trained pretty damn good, and samurais. I saw one take on a master samurai with swords and win. So these droids eventually will take over all military and policing for the world, for world government. But as it's phased in, under from Agenda 2050 and Agenda 2030, Agenda 25 and Agenda 2020. So these bots are already in use at places where they have world government forum and things. You can come in and view them and talk to them. And, you know, they might make better friends than humans for some people, but from what I understand, humanity is in for quite a hard time with what they have planned with these towers and bots. I'll get to a clear spot here. There's a beautiful river here, but I wanted to talk a little about that and show you these new towers. Now, these are just for the first generation of AI controlled artificially intelligent bots, these towers that are placed in here. You see all the communications arrays up there on the tower. There's dozens and dozens of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 communication displays, as well as dishes for satellite control and satellite uplink. I'm sorry, there's just way too many people here, so we're just going to film the river. Brought you back here yesterday, Leona, to film the river for you, so I'm just going to get up here and walk up here so you can see the river as I walk. Isn't it beautiful? A little more calmer subject. There's just too many people here, dear. As soon as they're all gone, I can film the trail more. But this is where we left off yesterday from the trail, because there was just too many people. Hello. Beautiful. There's a trail going down. That's probably a witch trail, that one. Has no fishing spots, so, or a gold piner trail. I was going to come here and run my sluice, and I might next year run my sluice. Hello. This is wild holly growing here. Somebody probably planted holly plants. There's lots of trails here. This is to a fishing spot, this one. Enjoy the river. So, I know 3 people have watched yesterday's video. I just hope one of them's you. I'm totally kicked off Instagram for like 100 and some days. I tried to punch in the code to get in, and now Instagram won't let me back on. I think it was because I shared music, because I didn't share anything other than what I shared with you, to you. So I don't know. I think I'm kicked off for a few days. I miss you. Look at the beautiful leaves. This is fall time in the Okanagan Valley. So this is the upper part of Mission Creek. So I didn't get to the full upper part walk in the video yesterday. Look at the ducks going down the river. Because there's too many people and I couldn't film. So now look, if I just slow down, I get my own pace, I get a whole area to myself where I can walk and talk with you. Isn't that nice? Look at that, a pipe to beat someone with. So how's my soldier girl? Did you learn to soldier good for me? Can you clean my gun, my queen? That's my girl. I know you can, sweetie. I watch your videos. I know you can do all that. You're my great sailor. My great flyer. You're great for me. You're my great. Like Alexander the Great. I love you, sweetie. Something relaxing for you. Come see the sea, see the river. There's a lot of gold panning goes on these areas. A lot of people don't know what they're doing when they go gold panning though. They don't understand what they're digging in or where they're digging or why. They just dig. It's actually quite funny as someone who was taught to prospect as a child. When you see an amateur just start digging into a bank of a river somewhere without really understanding how it all works and how gold's deposited by rivers and that sort of thing and where to look. But sometimes they're just looking in nowhere. Like why would you look there? There's nothing that would be there, you know? Because they don't understand the layout of the land, like how the corners work to deposit gold or whatever, you know? Maybe I'll get my sluice box out. Yeah, just come to use it. I was offering a friend to come with me. She wanted to make a ring for some guy she's with. I have to be careful not to film anyone. It's funny, I come back here just to make art and people label me all kinds of names just for making art. All over the internet until they watch the film and then they're like, oh, well, that's not that bad. Isn't that lovely? Watch the water deer. Here's the trail, nobody on this section. These are big boulders where sometimes people can just sit and like drink a water, leona deer, and relax. Sorry, I lost Instagram so fast. All I did was share like some rock and roll music, and the next thing you know, boom, I'm banned. Well, I get banned all the time. I've caught people gold panning around here, but they weren't really in good spots. There's a trail down here. I'd try around here somewhere. This looks pretty good. All that dirt over there that's been deposited where the creek used to go the other way. That might be worth checking. Might be worth something. Maybe a high banker and go in there and clear it all out. You're not allowed to like put a permanent mill up though. Like I think you can run a high banker here. You might get some money. That looks like some pretty promising dirt right there that I'm looking at. For someone that's an expert. Because all of this bank here at one time, was open river. It used to be a really big river at one time. We don't want to go over the edge here, so I'll let you have a look. Isn't that beautiful? And there it is, you see, the tower. It controls this whole area right almost to downtown of its cell phone boosts for everyone's phone when they're not using someone else's Wi-Fi. So your data boost, this is the data boost, and the data boost is where they control AI from. So this boosts the phone signal and sends it around the world, catches it. I was gonna do my laundry today, but beautiful, eh? Waterfall. I was gonna do my laundry today, but apparently the laundromat where I was gonna go wash my clothes, their hot water tank broke, so I couldn't do it today. So I might have to do it during the week and check with them when their tank gets fixed. So today I just had a coffee and a little, beautiful, eh? And a couple little potatoes, dear. I'm trying to control what I eat, but I don't know. Things are not as they seem with my landlady, that's for sure. She is pretty hard on me, so I think that I'm waiting to see what my worker says and maybe move and then go work in the spring somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm gonna find a spot where I can just go to work and make some money, because I can't be poor anymore. I was poor because, you know, I used to grow medical marijuana, but I gave it up when I was working to be with Kathy and not make any money at all. Let's look at this pond down here. This looks like someplace you might try for a fish. Be careful though. Boy, look at that, eh? That's all from the river. See, the river's up there. This is Upper Mission Creek, dear. This is where I am. I don't always go back here, but sometimes I do. And I just wanted to, because yesterday I was so interrupted in when I was filming by that lady at the end of the film that I couldn't finish the rest of this area, because there's so many people came that there's too many people in between me and them, because she held me for so long talking to her that I couldn't finish. Now on Instagram I put up pictures of this trail here. It's a very nice trail, but they shut my Instagram down. Now I can't get into it for 184 days. It's only 360 some days in a year. Oh, banned me before I barely even got started. But it has links to my YouTube account. Maybe people will click through and watch the film, sweetheart. Now don't be mad at me, please. I love you. Trying to make you these beautiful films and spend time with you every morning. These are lookout points that people can sit along the upper part. See, a long time ago, these were just the witches' trails, like that one over there, and that I showed you a minute ago. And these new ones are park fisheries trails, and people are allowed to go up this high. It used to be before this was all just one big muddy field. When I walked back here, the witches with my adopted mom. A lot of Wiccans were involved in this area. It was pretty common. They would be here throughout the day, doing Wiccan activities. But I guess it's long forgotten now. Not everybody remembers that 30, 40 years ago. Well, a lot of you are not even that old that are watching. Look at that, sweetie. Isn't that gorgeous? Enjoy your nature walk. A beautiful corner, eh? That might have some gold in that corner. I might dig it out a bit. Might get some gemstones. It looks like a heavy deposit of dirt there. So where the heavy deposit is, you might find some gold if there's any in there. You might not, but it's more likely that you will, because it's a heavy deposit. See, on that side, see how it's all heavy deposit. You have to go up onto the bank though and just run a high banker, I think. Unless you brought buckets to carry dirt down. Because you got to remember, some of it's actually laid over rock by the parks as well. But a lot of it actually is deposits of earth, and that's what you want. Where it's all washed downstream from storms. But a lot of times you see them digging there, and all these white men will be back here, and natives and stuff, and they don't even know what they're doing. They know how to use the pan correctly, but they don't even know where to look. So it becomes a funny situation when you're looking as a person that is experienced, and you're going, oh my God, what are you doing? But I don't use a pan most of the time. When I'm done, I do at the end of the day, but I mostly just use a sluice. Because it's easier and you get more done faster, and run 4 sluices in a day, and if there's gold there and enough deposit, you'll get an ounce or so too with a little sluice. But I like this because you can only use them on this area. You can't use rocker boxes as far as I know, because I could rocker box all this out in no time with a tractor, dig it all out and level the river. But so you see all those banks over there, that's fill from the overflow from the river over like 100 years. So that's where the original river sat. Hello. Have a nice day. There's all the different birds and snakes in this area. Manders. Here's the snake right there. Local gardener snake. I got the worst look from that guy and didn't even say hi. Some people are just a piece of shit to me, they're just mean. Someone passed away here, see? There's the flowers. But that deposit of dirt in there, that's where you really want to look. Most people don't though, they just dig into the little bit of riverbed at the bottom, and I just laugh like you're not going to find anything there. That's just, some 20-year-old deposit that's not that old. You want to go way back in there and just run to high banker on that. Well, with the high banker, you could turn a lot of dirt, so you could run shovels full at a time. So like 4 or 5 people with shovels, or you could use, buckets that you filled and just keep dumping buckets as one person into the high banker. So you fill your buckets first and then run your buckets until they're all done and then redo them again. One person could do it that way. Just filter out all your rocks first with a screen, and then there you go. High banker, kick it all out, and the gold and gems will be left. You're allowed high bankers here as far as I know. It's yellow gold in this river, dear. It's not platinum. It's not worth as much as platinum, but it's gold, and it's worth like $300 a gram. So, it's worth the work if you find a good spot. I'm not sure if you're allowed claims on this river anymore. See, this is the fisheries trail. This is not the original witches trail. The witches trail is down there. The fisheries had put this in so they could run their little vehicles down here and travel the trail, so they can monitor it, so they can monitor all the fish, because they're protecting the kokanee as best they can, but it needs more protection because it's such an endangered species. And you get people that just come in and kill them when they're in the middle of spawning because they're mean, and they should be charged for that because it is such a rare fish. So yeah, I miss you, Leona. I hope you rate me at the P.O. box. I've only sent you a Christmas card now. Your Christmas card sent. Look for all your cards. They're all sent to you. I sent you birthday card. I sent you anniversary card, and now I sent you a Christmas card. And you told me you didn't get none of them. Make sure you go check your mail. Go check it at the charity, because that's where I sent the Christmas card and your birthday card, and your dad has one. See, all these plants are specially planted. See, all different wild plants that feed these wild animals. So see, these are all man-made trails from here on in. That's an old witch trail. But yeah, one time this whole area here was just an open field. The field is still here a little, but there's a lot of people here today, so we're gonna walk around and try and avoid them. Which way are they going? Because I don't want to film them. See? These are all witches trails as well. This is a nice deposit of earth too that's been here. This is probably about 1,000 years old. You can see there's many floods. I might try this spot too. Can't do it where I am right now. My landlady, he'll freak about the dirt, so I have to wait before I get my affordable housing here. I'm supposed to get an apartment soon here, so. And there's some fishing pools. Those are to catch when you catch fish, keep them alive. Oh, look, there's a gold pan there. Someone trying. See that they should be over here, but they're over there, and they're all there. I see. That makes no sense because that is a spot. Or the gold won't be. The gold will be here as a prospector, because you see all the different levels of types of dirt here are shown in this cliff. Like, as someone who has studied geology, you have the different levels of rock over thousands of years. The upper stone down to the sand, to the different levels of stone and sand all the way down. So this is clearly where the water has pushed it up over different thousands of years, and you have more chance in this spot than where they are way the fuck over there at the other end of it, because it's all going to be sitting here. If it's here, it's all going to be sitting right there in that sand that's fallen, that's loose. It's all going to be right there. That's where I'm going to run mine. I bet I get more than they do right over there. But you always find people in the wrong spot that really don't know what they're doing when it comes to, because they know nothing about geology, and all the levels of thousands of years are right there. So this is a deposit of thousands of years old, and you're more likely to get something from there as someone who studied geology. And because, you know, I learned from my dad's roommate, who was part of his gun store. His name was Pappy, and he was French, and he was a highway surveyor on how to look for gold and things. So here's an old witch's trail. This is one of my mom's old trails. This is how they got over here for their ceremonies and things. And we'll just go away from the people over here, because they're not completely done yet. But see the different levels of geology inside the side of the cliff? I mean, this is where you find actual gold and gems. Let's go over and have a closer look, because this old witch's trail will take us there. You see that big pile of loose fallen sand over there on the straight across from us there? That's what I'm going to run my sluice box on, is all that. And we'll see what I get out of it. You see the proper geology here, and the cliff with all the different levels of generations of thousands of years properly represented, that you have more chance as deposits of small gold nuggets and gemstones than anything else. See all the levels of mica and everything. And there's plenty of quartz rocks in there. So you're likely to find that more than there than anywhere else. So we're just gonna walk over this way. I'm going to have to cut it off soon though. As you can see way over there, there's people. And I don't want to film them any more than that. See, men figure they know them more than me, but I'm trained from surveyors how to look for gold and gems. That's why I find so many. You know, I went to a place once where I paid $20 to get to a ditch, and I found diamonds in a ditch. And they were all blown away that I found all those diamonds. But I know where to look, you see, because I'm trained. That's the difference. I didn't just buy a book. I was trained by a surveyor who worked for the highways department. Survey means to observe the land for the government and make highways and roads and things, mines. So that looks like a pretty good spot where we might find some small nuggets. We'll try my sluice box maybe in the spring. Anyway, this is the trail. This is an old witch's trail, and it has been here forever. But we have to watch. There's children, so we have to aim the other way. I'm gonna have to shut it off now because there's kids. So have a nice day, sweetie. This is the end of the trail.